What we do here is go back.
Welcome back to the Forum Report. I'm Sophia Osborne, the managing editor here at The Gateway, and today I'll be breaking down for you the top 3 things that happened at the SUBStage forums. The first SUBStage forum saw the 2 presidential candidates go head-to-head on issues like diversity and equity, mental health, and sexual violence. They're both current vice presidents. Akanksha Bhatnagar is the VP Academic, and Andre Bourgeois is the VP Student Life. And I was wondering, going into this race, whether the 2 of them would go after each other, considering they have to work together for the rest of the year. Luckily, they've shown they're willing to criticize one another. Here are their answers when a student asked them to say what their opponent's biggest success and biggest failure were this year as executives.
I think my opponent's biggest success was working with the Residents Association for help in terms of granting security. I think that's a tool that has been worked on for years and years and years by the Hub Community Association, and it was just really lucky that this was the year that that candidate was able to complete that project. I think the biggest failure of the candidate running for president was the inability to hire a sexual assault coordinator, stating specifically that that was the position or the hiring of that would make sure that every single one of their goals was accomplished, and that individual was not hired yet.
So I think that the biggest success of my opponent was the removal of eye clickers from the classroom. I think that, also kind of serendipitous that we were both able to get these things done in a year. The biggest failure, I think, is bringing GovWeek back and leaving it under the portfolio of the VP Academic. I think that as student representatives, it's not our role to provide programming opportunities for students because it eats up a ton of our time that we could be spending representing students. This year, I think that GovWeek needs to fall under the portfolios of the people in the Students' Union who don't serve one-year executive terms. So if a VP Academic gets in the future, they're able to take on other projects and don't have to, if they're not interested in GovWeek, then it'll be sustainable.
Yesterday's forum also saw the Aboriginal Student Council President, Catherine Belcourt, fielding questions from the audience about their proposed dedicated fee unit, which would have full-time students paying an opt-outable $1 per term fee for things like programming, events, and a childcare subsidy. Students in the audience and on the live stream, including Deirdre Cutarm, an arts counselor and former ASC president, were concerned about the lack of student consultation on the fee and about how the budget would be broken down and managed. Unfortunately, Belcourt wasn't able to provide much in the way of specifics at that first forum, but the ASC has now released a more detailed proposal that includes a lot more information about the fee.
We have had conversations about this because this is something that I wouldn't want to bring a fee like this or bring something in like this that's not going to be successful. Though ASC is not going to be successful. The money is not going to be managed properly, and so we have had conversations with First People's House, and then so having them kind of either sit on our executive or sit with us and stuff, and maybe even somehow managing our finances through them so that it's accounted for and we have that accountability and kind of circle and stuff. We've also I've talked to people in the student union about potential ways that they can help us and support us to make sure that it's managed, because I wouldn't want anything like that to happen. I wouldn't want to be spent in an irresponsible way, but that's a really valid point.
As for the second SUBStage forum, you didn't miss much at all. The only contested race present was VP External, while the sole candidates for Board of Governors Representative and VP Operations and Finance faced no competition. The biggest problem with the forum was a lack of engagement from the audience. Almost all the questions were asked by campaign managers for the candidates present, which in itself is a huge problem. And as they tried to fill the allotted time of 1.5 hours, the questions got more and more superficial. I honestly couldn't care less whether Luke Stat prefers rat or Dewey's, and it felt like a colossal waste of students' time to expect us to sit through questions like that.
That's actually probably one of the harder questions today. So I think my entire business faculty is going to absolutely hate me for saying this, as well as some art students. I really, really like rat, quite a bit. So I'm sorry for all of you that are Dewey's people, but rat's my choice. Thank you.
If you were to be elected on March 7th, what would be the first thing you did come May 1st once you took office?
Thank you so much for the question. This is actually a really fun fact. But May 1st, the first day of the term, is actually my birthday. So I probably, wake up, sing happy birthday to myself or something, text my mom, be like, hey mom, it's my birthday. But after that, after the birthday formalities are taken care of, I would probably...
I've come to talk with you again.
Overall, the SUBStage forums this year really showed that so many uncontested races makes for a boring election. There's still the Campus St. Jean and Meyer-Horowitz forums to look forward to when all the races will be united again. Let's hope the questions at those forums come from students who aren't campaign managers. Stay tuned!